One shot at a time.
You're right, Roy. Just knock it on. Let her rip.
You're playing golf today.
No, I'm not, Grandpa. I'm playing tennis.
You're playing golf and you're going to like it.
You just go home. That's your home. Are you too good for your home? Answer me.
Welcome to the Out the Bunker podcast with DT and Jase.
What's cracking, guys? Welcome to Out the Bunker podcast. It's Jase here with my boy DT. We are back for another episode. If you guys saw the last episode, we had a fantastic conversation with a fantastic human, so be sure to jump on YouTube and Spotify and check that out. And this week we have some incredible athletes that we're going to have a conversation with. So I'm going to kick it over to my boy DT, and he is going to get things started.
Well, firstly, let's just quickly discuss a couple of weeks ago, the Masters took place.
One week ago, yep.
Yeah, well, a couple, because by the time this comes out, yeah.
Nope.
Okay, so
live time.
Did you get a chance to watch any of it?
Yeah,
or
man.
Just highlights.
No, I actually watched 3 out of the 4 days. I missed Monday
the whole day
for the Sunday because I was back at work. Yeah, dude, I had it on KO and I just literally watched it from like start to finish. I don't do much outside of comedy work or training, so I just sat at home. KO was on and just watched it the whole way. Didn't remember Masters being that windy.
Yeah,
it was
last year
crazy, and to see, like, obviously Scotty Scheffler win it, I was so happy to see Tiger. I had $50 on him to win it on the odd chance that he could do it, but I was just stoked to see him go 4 days.
Be honest, did you actually think at any stage Scotty Scheffler was going to get caught?
I thought if Bryson could hold his day one performance, he was the only person I thought who could hold a knife to the flame. So, but he kind of dropped off. I feel like the weather just tore people to pieces, man. Like, Scotty Scheffler's just in a different breed on his own. So then you've got, and like, sorry, before to cut you off, I was just on social media the whole weekend looking at the couch coaches going, oh, look, I play for 15, or I could break 90. I can't break 90 at Maylands on a decent day.
You hit too many bunkers, right?
Yeah. But it was nuts, man. They're so good.
Before the actual tournament started, they were saying, like, to the professionals, they were asking them, what do you think a 15 handicapper would get?
Yeah.
And the professionals are going, oh, look, I think on a great day, they'd be just breaking 100. And then when I finally watched the couple of days, I was like, bro, they are not hitting 120.
Yeah.
The conditions that they were playing, there's no way they're hitting 120.
The second highest ranked amateur, so only one amateur made it all the way through to 4 days.
That was Shipley,
second
right?
highest ranked amateur on the second day was already hit 11 over.
Yeah.
Like, so for a 15 handicapper who's never played there before to say I could break 100, dude, I'd be 150 plus. I'd need a second golf bag full of golf balls. No clubs, just golf balls.
I'll be right there with you.
And a walking therapist, because I would be miserable.
Yeah, Tiger just handing you notes.
Yeah, man, I don't care how many blue trees you paint on that course. My mental health is just taking a nosedive. But for those who don't get the reference, on golf courses in WA, like, mental health is a big thing around golf and sports in general, but they paint these blue trees to remind you that mental health matters, which I find so ironic.
Yeah, on a golf
course is probably the biggest thing that debilitates my mental health on a weekly basis. And then I look up after I've hit a ball into the blue tree and it's telling me to be happy. Go f*** yourself.
So, look, today we're going to be talking with an amazingly successful and amazingly young, we'll call them a power couple.
Yeah.
All right. In the world of golf in Australia and hopefully soon to be the world.
Yeah. Named after the two of the greatest human beings to ever exist, I might add.
Okay. But look, the first of our two guests is a 23-year-old woman who's a PGA member, and she's earned her tour status in 2023. She's currently a part-time member on the tour. She obviously, because apparently the women, I only found this out the other day, apparently women don't play as many events as the men. So I was like, okay, interesting. So she also works part-time.
My comedic tongue had to be held.
Yeah, you just hold your tongue. So also works part-time down at Mandurah Country Club. We played there a few times. It's a phenomenal golf course.
I can't wait to play there again soon.
So part-time, and then also part-time working with Golf WA, developing the Peel region, the entire Peel region.
And full-time practicing and trying to get better at golf.
Right? So she's represented Australia 3 times as a junior and has won multiple junior and open national and state ranking events, including the Jack Newton Junior International, the South Australian Junior Masters, the Tasmanian Amateur Open, the Dunes Medal, the Mandurah Amateur Tournaments, and she is currently sponsored by Mizuno and Titleist. Shout out. All right, and is coached by none other than Brett Rumford, who is actually an ex-European Tour pro. All right, so please welcome the one, the only, Kathryn Norris.
Yeah, round of applause. Big fucking round of applause. And I say named after the greatest because of the surname. How's the father, Chuck?
Well, that's my dad's nickname.
Is
So.
it?
Oh, really? No shit.
But look, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's
Our pleasure.
your resume for
That's
such
insane.
a young person.
I
is
didn't
just
bother
phenomenal.
to read it beforehand because I wanted to be surprised. That's awesome.
Thank you.
That's ridiculous.
So, how you been? How's things?
Yeah, pretty good. Just finished sort of the first half of this year's season, so it's finished up for sort of runs through from like mid-January to the end of March.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'll have some bit of time off now till sort of October.
Yeah.
But I've got a little local pro-am swing coming up over May, June, so I'll be in WA for the next few months. So
Oh, phenomenal.
It's going to
you-
be nice.
So you say time off, but I would imagine that's still filled with practice,
really.
practice,
Yeah.
practice,
Yeah.
work, a bit more practice,
to.
more
Yeah.
golf.
You don't really get time off when
Yeah.
you're not, when I'm not working in the pro shop. Obviously,
You're
I'm
on the
still
course.
technically working.
Yeah.
For my other part-time
Yeah.
jobs.
So when you say time off, you mean just not tournaments.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
or well, on the main WPGA tour.
Yeah. Well, look, welcome. And what we'll do is we'll introduce this amazing woman's boyfriend as well, who I've read it, but you haven't. But
no,
his resume
this is the first time
yeah.
I'm about to read this
So-
man's resume. So
Feel free.
yeah, this gentleman is a 25-year-old Mount Lawley Golf Club member, Rich, cough, who recently obtained his Australasian Tour card for the upcoming season. He is the number one ranked amateur in Western Australia, behind Daniel and myself being world amateur match race champions. Graduated from Columbus State in Georgia, US of A, playing a total of 5 years in college because he was not clever enough to graduate in 4. Dominated amateur golf in WA.
Hold on. Before you continue, people need to understand that context,
Okay,
right?
yeah,
So,
so-
realistically, when you play college sports in America in the NCAA, you're only technically allowed to compete for 4 years.
Yeah.
We will ask him when he gets fully introduced.
Yeah, we'll get
how
into
the hell
it.
he played 5.
We'll get into it.
Right.
I was held back a year. My birthday's in December. Dominated amateur golf in WA this past year, winning multiple state ranking events. Runner-up in the South Australian Amateur Tournament in 23. He is a 4-time All-American, 5-time All-Conference team. If you don't get the WWE reference, watch it. 2018 Peach Belt Conference Freshman of the Year, 2019 Peach Belt Conference Player of the Year with 3 college wins. He is sponsored by Crestlink Golf Apparel, Titleist, Unique Hydration, and is coached by PGA teaching professional and 2023 Golf WA State Team coach Alex McKay. Please welcome an absolute golfing machine, Mr. Jordan Doull.
Thank you.
Also named by the GOAT.
That's right. The real GOAT.
Yeah. Andrew Doull.
Welcome,
The
mate.
GOAT. No.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Yeah,
So-
sorry to ruin part of that introduction for you. But yeah, thanks for being here, man. That is like Power Couple is severely understating what you guys achieve individually and together. So
Yeah.
that's insanely.
I mean, in the
impressive,
golfing
man.
world, 23 and 25, and their resume is bigger than my 15-year resume of a basketball
Yeah,
career.
man. I've
Like, hectic.
whatever.
So, look, the
That's-
real
that's
question is, I
crazy.
mean, how did you end up meeting Kathryn, like, through this whole process?
That's a long story.
Give me one.
Well,
We like long stories.
Yeah, don't make it too long though.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have all night.
So, back in Tennant Creek,
well, actually, what was it? 9 years ago. So when you get selected for the WA State squad as a junior, you end up going down to Pinjarra for a camp.
cool.
And so they take the boys, they take the girls. There's like 10 guys, 10 girls. They put them in 2 cabins.
Oh, recipe for spicy.
yeah.
And anyway, one night all the boys were out on the deck. We were just having a laugh and a yarn and whatever. And then they knew that I had like a little thing for Kat back in the day. We were like 16 and 14, 15. I ended up losing a bet and the boys made me go rap to her.
Oh, you
Rap
lost
to
on
her.
purpose though, didn't
Hold
you?
on. Can you
wrote-
actually rap what you rap? No, you can't do it.
I don't. Yeah, I don't remember all of
Can't
it.
remember.
Can't remember.
Roses
Okay,
are
yeah.
red. I'd like to hit an ace. Why don't I down? You can sit on my. No? Just
Driver.
freestyle. Yeah, putter. No.
That was better. That was better than what I did.
Yeah, so anyway, you spit this rhyme and then what?
Yeah, all of us boys, we walk over to the cabin and we knock on the door, and I say, "Can Kathryn come to the door?"
Oh, that's cute.
And
Even
then,
asking permission.
Yeah, and then two of the boys started drumming up a beat, and off I went. And then I got a little text the next morning, and then
saying cease and desist. Yeah, 50 feet at all times.
And then I went off to college, came back, and I was playing down Mandurah for the Mandurah Amateur, and I just sent her a little message and see what's happening, and went to a quiz night, and it went from there.
Wait, so
awesome.
you rapped to her
Yeah.
and then left.
Yeah.
You left her high and dry after dropping 8 Mile to her. You thought, I'm going to leave you with that little taste of talent in.
That's it.
And then I'm going to go away, do my thing, and you'll still be waiting for me when
Hey,
I come
yeah,
back.
That's it.
That's what you do, man. You keep them
that's
wanting more,
mad
right?
game. I would have done that and she would have moved countries.
Would you like to go ahead? Right there?
Yeah. I was more interested in
In the
was
rap.
Was
He
it
just wants-
impressive at all? Like, did you just be like, what a D-bag?
I mean, it did rhyme.
Oh,
that's
there
a
you go.
positive.
That's
That's a
half
good
the battle. Was it on
It's
time?
funny, the guys that were there at that camp seem to remember more of that rap than what Jordan does.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because that will remind you about that for your whole
Of course
life.
they would.
Yeah.
And someone recorded it, but we cannot find the video.
No way. Someone's got
So
it.
it's
If y'all
gotta
get
be
married, that
somewhere.
needs to be resurfaced.
Yeah,
and
that's
played
got to be at the
wedding.
wedding.
It's got to
How
be
you got it?
somewhere.
We think it could be Minwoo Lee.
He
What do you
might
mean?
have the
Get
video.
out of here.
Minwoo Lee was down there with us.
Okay, so
No
y'all just
way.
like rubbing shoulders with greatness.
Yeah, yeah.
You know the chef.
And now they're hanging out with us.
yeah, honestly,
Like,
you guys
ultimate.
you guys are really dropping off in your careers now that you're here, and just warning you the trajectory of your lives.
That's wild. So
That's crazy.
he might be the one that has it.
He might be the one.
could.
I haven't
That'd be
asked him
sick.
yet. and I don't
That's
want
sick.
to, just in
Nah,
case.
just in case.
Yeah,
Then you
yeah.
put it on social media, you go nuts.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be cool, man. Anyway, so tell us a bit about your journeys into golf as young kids. Obviously, like the hours and hours that you've had to put in, and what's the hardest thing that both of you individually you found you had to learn or go through?
I think for me it was keeping emotions in check. Definitely when I was a kid, a little hothead and
Yep.
get angry. I mean, still do. But yeah, definitely affected me a lot more back in the day when I was a junior, especially when first couple of years of college.
So what were
Yeah.
some of the things that would drive you nuts on the golf course?
Just hitting
Yeah.
bad shots and just reacting poorly.
Yeah.
And
And then
that's-
that carrying on and ruining the
carrying
round
it
or the
on.
game.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. Now it's like you hit a bad shot. I mean, you never know what can happen. You can chip it in, and all of a sudden you make birdie.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Yep.
So-
I guess at our level as well, like your expectations are higher, but your talent can usually match your expectations. Our expectations are high, but very rarely does the shot meet the expectation, yet we'll still get angry.
yeah,
So when you think of young kids, right, like a small little kid learning how to play golf, what was the hardest part of the game? So putting, chipping, irons, or driving outside of the mental, what was probably the hardest part to learn?
You can say none of it if you're that
Yeah.
good.
no, I think it's hard because when you're a kid, your short game's dialed because you've got that. You see and react.
Yep.
You see it going
That's
right
the
to
scoring
left.
part
Yeah.
for you as a kid. It's
Yeah,
like,
right.
okay, this is, yeah. So you get really good at short game because that's how you put a score together.
Yeah.
So you don't
Yeah,
get that
okay.
far.
God, I wish
Yeah.
I had lessons as a
Yeah.
kid.
Yeah, and then as you start to learn more about the game, that seeing and reacting goes because you're so involved into technique.
Yeah, right. You kind of
Then
lose
you
the feel and
lose
touch
that-
about it.
You lose that ability to score.
Yep.
Yeah,
You
okay.
obviously still keep the same score, even get better, but you lose the
You get it.
fundamental
You
ability.
become a better golfer, but your scoring doesn't necessarily
Reflect
get
it.
better.
Yeah, right.
You just get more consistent, obviously.
Yeah, okay.
So it's really interesting, but yeah, it doesn't mean that you're not improving. Obviously,
Yeah.
you can only get so good, but you tend to see like kids get really good at the age of sort of 12, 13.
Yeah, okay.
And then they might not necessarily
38?
get any better.
That was going to be my
Well,
next question. How do you feel about old kids?
Okay, so what about yourself? What was the hardest part for you, I guess, growing up?
Hardest part growing up would probably be just when it gets, obviously you go through like good and bad form, and it's when you hit the bad form and it's sort of, you got to just remind yourself, like, you know, you can't hit a perfect golf shot every single time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess as kids, like if they're not good at something, they tend to just go, oh, that's boring, I don't want to do it. So, and then, yeah, golf as well, obviously being with like individual, like, you know, you can have a bad round of basketball, but you've got your friends around you, they pick you back up, you know, you sort of,
Yeah.
you still get the team win, but you go, okay, that wasn't my best performance. But with golf, like, you're on your own, so it's hard to tell yourself, like, okay, it'll get better, you know, just keep persisting with it. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
probably
true.
what I found the hardest part.
So what was I guess, how did you overcome that? Like your anger, and like your anger is very similar to, like, I guess her concept of having a bad round or something like that. How do you overcome those things? Who helped you? What, you know, kind of got you over that hump?
Definitely speaking to players who are, you know, sort of a couple, maybe 1 or 2 generations in front of you, who have sort of gone through that. And, you know, like back in my time, Hayley Betancourt was she was the only other lady professional at Mandurah.
Yeah.
And she really helped me as a young female. She obviously was maybe like 4 or 5 years ahead of me in terms of, you know, in golfing years.
Yep.
And yeah, she really helped me through that. Obviously, mum and dad, like, were really supportive on just keeping me going and saying, like, don't worry about it when you're not doing too great, you know, just keep doing everything that you're supposed to be doing, and the results will eventually, you know, come back or begin to show again. So,
Which I guess is always the first base of support that you need, mum and dad.
yeah.
Because if you don't really have that one, you're not going to get any kind of
Yeah.
clubs or anything, because they'd have to pay for it, I guess, when you first start out.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
yeah, like, I guess, I mean, you and I, through sports and stuff, like, even outside of it, during the game, you've got each other, you've got a coach who's going to pull you up, you've got your teammates. Even if you have a bad game, you can sub.
Yep.
You can sit out for a little bit, get your head back into it, and then come back in the court. Whereas golf, you can't just be like, all right, time out, I need some
I'm
orange
just going to skip
slices.
this hole.
Yeah, just put me down for a par. I'll
Yeah,
just
yeah.
see you on the next hole. Can't really do that
Can't
at all.
do that. No.
Okay, so look, you're now both on tour. Firstly, congratulations again, because that's just freaking
that's-
amazing.
that's crazy.
right? To actually be sitting here with people who are both on
Actual
tour now.
golfers.
Like, yeah, well, it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you guys know Glenn Paul.
Yeah, I know who he is.
Yeah,
we
like
do,
yeah. So
yeah.
like he explained it. He was like, you know, there's 3 different levels to being a professional. What you would call professional, and like you guys are there. Like you guys are now on your way to moving on to huge things. So firstly, congratulations for that. But I guess how do things work for you now in terms of like scheduling, expectations of yourselves and of other people, like sponsors and things like that? And I guess how are you now expected to fill your time? Are you expected to be full-time and just give everything you have, put everything aside, no income coming in because you don't have work? Like I've read Jack Nicklaus's old work schedule of just golf, and it was an all-day job. So how do you guys, like, what's now for you?
Well, unfortunately, like I was saying about how, you know, the women don't have as many as like events as the men do. So for myself, like I can't go all in at this stage because obviously I only have a certain amount of tournaments to play in. So I'm at the point where I'm juggling until something happens where I move on to another level where I can afford to just be all into the golf. Obviously, I work 30 odd hours a week in a pro shop, you know, when I'm home, then doing all the practicing, gym, all of that at the same time, getting ready for the events that I do have to play in. So that's me at the moment. Yeah, just juggling the two. I'm not all in. Obviously, like I put everything I can do into the golf, but obviously I have to think like when I'm not playing tournaments, you know, obviously I need to have an income and also.
That's mad because 30 hours a week is just 8 hours short of a full-time week.
Yeah, that's right.
Plus, then you got to put in work in at the gym,
give or
and
take, you know,
the
like
range, and actually playing golf, and
And what about
That's
yourself,
nuts.
Jordan?
Yeah, I'm still part-time as a groundskeeper at Mount Lawley, and then there may be something else in the works as part of another job that I may be moving into, but along strength and conditioning route.
Yeah.
Just waiting to see how that goes. But, I mean, I reckon as long as you can get 5 hours of practice in, of good, solid practice a day, then you should
oh
be
damn! I thought you were going to say a week.
I was like,
that
I
could be
can do
realistic
that.
for me.
5 hours a day on top of. So would that be the same for
Nah.
you? Like 5 hours a day? I mean, is that a realistic thing for
so
you guys?
for me,
Yeah. Well,
like
for me.
For you,
Jordan,
yeah.
100. I mean, he works harder than anyone I know. I'm definitely not at the point where I'm doing 5 hours a day.
Yeah, okay.
There might be days where I do 5 hours
Yeah,
a
yeah,
day,
yeah.
but on a general basis, you know, it's not going to be that much for me.
Yeah, it is a daily thing though. Like without fail, you always have
There's
some
never
form
a
of
day
golf.
that you don't pick up a club and
Yeah.
have a hit. Yeah,
For me, as a groundskeeper, I mean, I start at 5, I finish at 10, and then I'm working at the club, so I just go have a shower.
Yeah, I guess
have
you're
lunch.
on, you're on
And then
site to
exactly,
get it in.
From 11 to 6, there's 7 hours.
Yeah. I guess when you break it down like
When you
that,
break everything down, you've
a
got
big
plenty
day.
of time.
yeah,
It's
that's
It's
that
still a
is
long day,
It's a long day,
Yeah.
but,
I mean, hell, if you're doing a long day with something that you're passionate about, and I guess the resume speaks for itself, like it's paid itself off to a certain level at the moment, and I guess it's only going to pay itself off further. Like, that's a genuinely good investment.
Yeah.
Versus me spending 7 hours at the range, shanking.
Bro, when have you ever done that?
No, I'm saying like if I spent that much time at the
if you
range,
did,
the return on investment wouldn't be as great. So like, I mean, I guess the equivalent of me spending 7 hours a week doing comedy is the same thing. So
Yeah, I suppose, but
not
it's
per
just,
day though. That's crazy.
I find golf the fact that you're working a physical job 5 hours, right, and then you're going in and swinging a club, like for anyone who's played golf, it's not just, everyone thinks it's just like you get up there and you whack the club and like your muscles don't get sore, your body doesn't get sore, because 70, 80-year-old guys play it, you know what I mean? So people who have never played the game don't understand, I guess, the strength side of it, the conditioning side of it, being able to go out. Like everyone looks at Tiger and is like, oh man, he walks, he doesn't even have to carry his bag. Like, dude's had spinal surgery, and also he's got a fused foot, he's got a fused back. Like, this guy's still going out and swinging a club 1,000 times over a weekend. You know what I mean? Or 500 times over a weekend. That's a lot of pressure on your body
and
at
better
that
than
speed.
most as well.
Yeah. So I mean, how does your body hold up with all that?
Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get the right rest, recovery, you put the right stuff into your body.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a problem.
Yeah, cool.
And I guess you both. So, at what age did you start playing? Both of you?
I probably was about 6 or 7.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
14.
Oh, you started
Damn.
late.
Yeah.
Oh, you can kiss my ass. That's like, but I mean, like, I guess the repetitive nature of it is similar. So you know, we play once a week, twice a week if we're lucky, and our bodies will be like, like the back sore or the knees sore or whatever.
Yeah.
But like when we were playing basketball full time, you'd play 3-4 games in a day with your boys or whatever, and you would wake up the next day feeling fine.
Yeah.
So it's using those same muscles repetitively. I guess they just get used to it.
I guess when you
so.
go to the gym and you do a new exercise the next day, you're like,
Yeah,
I
you're
feel
sore.
that because you've used something else. But
Yeah.
obviously, swinging golf club's pretty repetitive.
It just
so
becomes a second nature, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
So kind of moving on to the next one, we see all of the glitz and the glamour of the top players, which I guess for every golfer is the dream. But tell us about the lifestyle of like gritty young golfers trying to make it. What are some of the negatives playing on tour? And what's it like overall being a professional in golf for both of you?
I mean, it's tough. It's not, unless you're, like you say, one of the best in the world. It's a tough gig. It's not all smiles and happy all the time. It can be hard work. It's a lot of travel, different beds all the time. If you're traveling to different countries, it's food that you're not used to. There's a lot that goes with it. But being in Australia, from WA, it's obviously a lot tougher. All the 90% of the tournaments are from over on the East Coast. So traveling from this side for us is a lot more expensive. The ones over there, they can just get in their car and drive, and we can't do that.
So what do you do in that aspect? Like, what do you do to finance that? Do you know what I mean? Like, what are some things that you guys do? Obviously, right now, I know that you're hopefully trying to find a financial sponsor to help you with that, because I can't imagine the insane costs. Like, my dad always talks to me like, why can't they bring a rugby team back to WA? And I'm like, because every time they travel, it costs them double the amount of when a team has to do it once. Yeah. It's like the Dockers and the Eagles. Every time they take a whole team over, they've got to pay for hotels, they've got to pay for all their staff to go over, everything. So it's not just like a small cost, and they've got to do that every second weekend.
Yep.
So for you guys to travel around compared to, let's say, the East Coast coming over once or twice a year compared to you guys doing it 8 times, how do you fund that?
It's just through work. I mean, I had Q School 2 weeks ago, and fee for Q School was $2,000, and I had, what did I spend? I think I spent 5.5 for 2 weeks.
And I don't imagine they give you afterpay for that.
Well, no. If you won final stage, you got $10,000.
Right. So you
as
get
an
a little
amateur, I
you
didn't
wouldn't
make
get
any
that.
money, but I was an amateur still, so I didn't get that. But
So did you get anything?
No.
So you're just going over there to experience it and try.
just
And so
get
if I
better.
don't get my card, I'm $5,500 out of pocket, and thanks for coming. Have a nice
Yeah,
day.
and then what you just got to do the same
Fire
thing
out.
next year when it comes up if you want to go again.
That's it.
Damn.
That's it. So if you miss out on Q-Sky, Australia's not even that expensive. I went to Canada back in 2022, and I think that was 4.5.
Yeah.
Damn.
And for how long are you over there?
Well, Canada, I was over there in college, so I was right next to where
Okay,
I was, but that was a week long.
Jeez, that's a big outlay. You got to get good at poker or something, or start like OnlyFans. Something. I don't know.
Oh man, just don't tell her. Okay, so look, Kathryn, this is for you because we're big on, I guess, social stereotypes and cultural stereotypes. We talk about it quite often because we always have a bit of a laugh about our backgrounds and our cultures and stuff like that. We never take things too seriously.
Yeah, I make fun of everybody.
Yeah, right. But I guess golf has a seriously large stereotype of being this white, male-dominated sport, right? And I don't think it's too far to say that it kind of is, all right?
Yeah, outside of Tiger Woods, VJ Singh.
Yeah.
Female.
But, but like, even the fact that you guys don't play as many tournaments I just sit there and go, how is that right? But how do you see us as a golfing society? I mean, we're all part of it, amateurs, young kids, people growing up. Like, we're all supporting everyone to try to grow this game. How do you see golfing society, getting more women into the sport? What do they need to do? What are some things they need to kind of focus on?
I think to get more women into the sport, obviously we need to be welcoming of women, which is like changed in the last sort of 5-6 years. It's really improved. Same with juniors as well. We're changing, we're welcoming them more, and it's going in the right path. But I think the key probably to getting more women involved is more women PGA teaching professionals.
Yeah, right.
But they're really hard to come by because obviously, like for myself, like let's say I in 5 years' time I'm no longer playing golf. I've got a family. I'm doing all those types of things. So for women to go
And
on,
he should be a stay-at-home dad.
flip the roles.
Yeah, that's what I always say, man.
Set up his
Be like, I love kids. Why not?
man cave with
all this equality stuff, man. I was like,
back.
you go work 30, 40 hours a week and I will happily stay home with kids. Happily. Yeah.
So I think that's probably the part that doesn't quite, that's where it gets hard because that naturally happens. So, getting a lady teaching professional is really, really rare. But we've got, so we've got a few. But you can imagine for some women I know will say that they, would rather go to a lady over a man for just being comfortable.
being
like
comfortable,
just
that's
in
right.
terms of
Which is fair enough.
not, just that they can relate a little bit more
Yeah.
and not feel as under. It's the same in anything.
Well, look,
It's
I mean-
even just understanding the mechanics of how a woman's body moves.
Yeah.
A coach being able
Yeah.
to do that versus
Yeah.
a guy to a guy, you can understand that better
Absolutely.
as well.
Yeah,
And I
women
guess-
and men on a general scale do swing it a lot differently. Obviously, like for women, we're built differently. We don't have as quick twitch muscles. Our wrists aren't as strong. So we swing it differently as overall to gain more power.
Don't
There's
look
a
at these two.
reason-
Don't
there's
look
a
at these two.
reason-
Don't look at these two.
There's a
Don't-
reason
don't-
all of our wrists are stronger than women.
Don't look at these two. He started laughing. He started laughing.
That's just my comedic brain
But,
going completely off track.
Look, I mean, I can attest to, I guess, the struggles that you guys have to deal with for the simple fact that I've been in groups where, and look, I've probably done it as well in my time, where you see, I think it'd be different if I saw you in front and I'd see you swing and you're crushing a ball 250
She'd
yards
make
down the
you
fairway.
look like shit.
That's right. But there are times where you rock up to the tee, all right? And I've never understood this. Like, I'm not a bad golfer. Like, I don't duff shots. I don't just like dribble 5-10
He
meters
does
down
duff
the road.
shots. I've seen it.
Anyway, all right, forget him. All right, but there's times where you rock up to the tee and there'll be a couple of old ladies or something like that, and they take 10 windies, they hit the ball, 5 meters, and you're standing there and you hear guys just go, and they say it audibly enough so they can hear it, and they go, "Oh, here we go, slow round coming up."
Yeah.
Like, I can't imagine how that makes them feel.
Yeah.
That doesn't help their confidence. They then go to the next shot going, "Oh shit, they're all watching. They're all watching. Like, now I'm going to do it again." And it just compiles, and then
Yeah.
they probably won't want to come back.
I think so, but I also think that's a generation that's probably on its way out too.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Is that just because they're old and they're going to die soon?
yeah, it's just old and grumpy, aren't they? You know, it's just,
Yeah.
but obviously, like, yeah, it sounds terrible, but you know, I work in a pro shop, so I
Yeah.
experience it, and you
Of
know,
course.
Yeah, you'd see
I haven't
all of it.
had one young lad, you know, Jordan's like your age, come in and be
Yeah, we're young. I'll
and,
take it.
and make me feel any less of a human being because
Yeah.
I'm a woman.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
only time I get it is that sort of older generation. So it's
generation.
on
Yeah,
its
I
way
guess
out.
they've
And
got
we're
their
really, like I
own
say, it's
type of
moving in the right
prejudice.
direction.
Yeah.
We're, you know, embracing women, we're embracing juniors
Like,
and golf clubs and
My
going for
dad,
it.
my dad always tells a story of like when he tried to get my mum to play golf. My mum's like, "Oh, I'll come up and play some golf." We were up at Point Walter, right? Because that's where I started. And apparently, what happened was she got up to the tee and he was like, "Yeah, we'll use this. You know, you showed her how to do it and all that." And she took like 12 to 15 windies, and he just said, "Grab the club," and he goes, "This game's not for you. You go home, and I'll meet you back there." All right, like that isn't East Freo, so he just walked home. He was like, "This game's not for you."
No.
You know what I mean? Like it was just like, yeah. Like, I mean, that's that mentality back then. Whereas like right now, I'm trying to teach my daughter and get my daughter into golf, and that's why I had a couple of these questions. I was just like, how do I keep her motivated in terms of like, we spoke about it. Basketball is a very quick reward, right? I can miss 10 shots. I make my 11th shot. That's about a minute worth of practice, right? In golf, I find like even when I watch her do some practice and stuff like there's no immediate reward because they're just sitting on a driving range and they're learning how to get the fundamentals of the swing and everything like that. So there's nothing there that she can go, "Oh, that was awesome," other than when it goes nice and high and they get that little bit of trajectory on it. And then I sit there and go, "Oh, that was sick. That's awesome." But yeah, and you praise them. But I guess, how did you continue to stay motivated? What were the drills or things that you did that was kind of like, as kids, as for both of you, that was kind of like, "Oh, that makes me want to come back again and learn golf"?
Well, for me, like, I had a slightly different, like, being introduced to golf. My dad was playing and I used to go along with him when I was sort of 5 or 6, and it was purely because my mum needed a break. And she was like, if you want to go golf,
Get out of the house.
you have to take the toddler with you. Like,
little devil
Dad was like,
child
no
with you.
worries, I'll take her with.
Yeah,
So, and he started out at the Cut golf course. So obviously,
Damn, that's a tough golf
damn.
course to play.
but golf carts.
Yeah.
And kids
Yeah.
are like, "Oh my God,
Yeah,
can I
Yeah,
drive?"
can
You
I
know?
drive this into the
So I
jungle?
used to take my clubs from Big W, Dunlop,
Yeah.
and I used to take my colouring books. I used to take my little iPod or whatever,
Yeah.
and every now and then I'd hit, and it would just be like "Oh, I fancy hitting one now," and then
Yeah.
it'd be like, "Oh, I don't really feel like it now." So
It's kind
I
of how I
was
play
just
now.
in like a Ambrose.
Ambrose.
Played Ambrose? Yeah. So I was, in a position where I wasn't really like forced to do it, and I just enjoyed being around with my dad and his friends, the golf carts. So in terms of staying motivated, obviously that then I obviously started to enjoy it, and I used to get Ambrose with my dad, and we used to play in like little competitions. So I think getting kids into competitions early is probably how you're going to keep them motivated, because they're going to get results, and they're going to then have
true.
something that they can then go and beat.
Yeah.
You know, and Golf WA are great. They have, what's it called, the
Tiger tees and all
yeah,
that
they
kind of
have
stuff.
all
Crunch and
the
Sit.
My Golf
Oh, the
and
Crunch
and
Crunch
Sit
and
days,
Sit.
yeah.
You know, they get young kids, they modify tees and they get them going. So I think that's probably the way to go, rather than just driving range.
So when you two, God willing, end up having kids, all right, and let's say you get married, you have kids and stuff like that, you'll know and you'll learn very quickly, because mum and dad aren't paying the bills anymore, how expensive golf is, right? So that was my follow-on question, like, golf, do you find golf to be overly accessible for young families compared to other sports? Like, and be realistic. I know you guys are golfers and you've got things, but like, I think of the cost of playing a round of golf for 4 hours, right? Joondalup are now charging about like $160 to play on a weekend. You guys now get it for free. You lucky buggers, right? Is that right? How it works? PGA card carriers?
You're so lucky, but I feel like you've kind of earned that.
No, but I'm just saying, right? So like, for us to go play on a weekend, it's $160.
Yeah.
Right?
Plus
And-
the 12 balls I'm going to lose.
Yeah, and like
another 90.
it's not a cheap sport. So I sit there and go, okay, golf has moved a long way from that time where black people couldn't even play. Right, it was a purely highly rich sport to now being a little bit more accessible. But I still find golf to just be ridiculously priced compared to picking up a basketball for $10 from Kmart, putting a crappy hoop up on the thing, and that kid can play for hours.
Yeah.
Like golf's like, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's getting out of hand. I mean, you look at like drivers alone. Drivers are going for like $900. Back in the day, I got a full set of clubs for like $600.
Yeah.
That's
and
mad.
then at least like at Mount Lawley, the junior membership is relatively cheap. It's like $200 for the year if you're like 13.
For the year.
For the year.
I could pass for that if I shave.
Okay, but then are they hoping that the dad then goes or the mum goes, I'll join up too for the $10,000 that they probably charge for a male member or like an adult member? Do you know what I mean? Like,
is
So
that
then
the
the
cost for an adult?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Nominations.
Yeah.
Out there, yeah.
Because I know
and
Royal
there's a waiting
Fremantle.
list for Mount Lawley, isn't there?
Well, yeah, we just closed up memberships.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah.
And there'd be people biting at the bit
Lucky
to go
I got
to that
2.
course.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Royal Fremantle was like a 12.5 or something like that nomination fee, and then it's like a $4.5 plus the bar tab or whatever. And I'm just
That's
like,
nuts.
that's crazy.
But it's
you know?
also the range balls as well. Like the range balls.
Oh, they get decent.
Well,
range
it's just it's just expensive. I mean, I think for a junior, a large bucket's $7.50. For a full play member, it's $15.
And you guys still just hit the yellow golf balls?
No, we've got.
The one that say
we've
stolen from Whaleback?
We've got a couple of them.
Mount Lawley?
Yeah, we got a couple of them. Yeah. But no, they're just like random crappy balls. Like members will play like 6-7 rounds and then just go throw them on the range or something like that.
Yeah,
But
right. You'd think at
still, like,
you'd
I mean-
think at a course of that level, you would get genuinely good golf balls,
You'd
even
think
if
so.
they're reused, but still like like Titleists or whatever, and hit. Like if I'm paying that much money, I don't want to hit a yellow golf ball that I could also go to Whaleback and pay $15 for 150 golf balls.
But then the problem is you'll probably take them from the range and play them on course, won't you?
Yeah,
Nah,
we'll say that's
not
the thing.
me. I'm very specific.
Or
about
Jordan,
golf.
who
Not
hits
you.
him through the back of the range and they lost.
No, I got to pick them up.
Okay, show off hitting it through the back of the range.
I got to pick them up.
There you go, pick some.
Yeah. Oh, she's calling you out now.
Way you've gone and picked them up.
I have before.
Wait, so how far is the
Like
back of the
once.
range?
Well, Mount Lawley sort of curves, but there's a part of the range that I can't get to.
Which is what?
Oh, it's like 320 into that little
What's
zone.
the part that you
You
can
poor
reach?
thing.
Oh, it's like 270.
I could reach that with a thin 60.
Yeah, out of a bunker. Out of a bunker next to a
Sprinkle it on
green.
the way.
Yeah, just a foot off the green.
But I kind of get what you're saying. Like the way I look at it is like you're a member, you've paid all this money. They're freaking range balls. Like you want people to get better, you want people to treat your course nicely and stuff like that. Like you've paid $5,000 in membership. One dude goes out every hour and just collects the balls. Like
Yeah.
just give it to him for free.
There's no way they're
Put a
only breaking
15-minute
even
limit
the
on it or
profit.
something like
Yeah, I was
that.
going to say, because then there would be, everyone would just.
Yeah, so you
log
give
it,
it, you put
obviously.
like a 15-20 minute limit on it, or like whatever the tee times are prior, and then you just do that. At least that gives something back to the people. That's just that little bit more. It just makes people go, oh yeah, that's enjoyable. Like right now, I don't want to play a junior like for $160.
No, I wouldn't.
I just wouldn't want to do it.
Well, that's what they do in the US. If you're a member of a US golf club, all the range balls are free, and they stack them up nicely on the range
Yeah.
toy, and they're
Yeah.
all good balls.
Well, that's what they did at Dubai.
In Dubai, yeah, it
They
was the same
set
thing.
it up in the little pyramid, and
Yep.
they were like genuinely good golf
Yeah,
balls.
they
So
were
then when you
Titleist,
go
yeah.
and hit on the course, you kind of actually have a feel for how you're going to play,
Yeah.
how the ball's feeling off the club,
Yeah.
how many times you're going to shank it, whatever.
So they were all Titleist Pro V1s, right?
Yeah.
But the funny part is like because you're in Dubai, you don't even think about stealing
Ooh.
one,
Yeah.
right? Whereas like
You
if
need
that was
hands
like
to
at
swing a golf
Whaleback,
club.
like you said, they're
Yeah.
gone. Like Pro V1's gone. You know what I mean? Do you want to talk about the Pro-Am a little bit?
So yeah, you guys, there's an upcoming WA Pro-Am swing starting in May, and you guys are doing this together as a couple. I'm guessing you
Was
practice.
that right? Is that you, as a
You're
couple?
gonna
You
play
going
as a couple, and assuming you guys practice and play each other or against each other a decent amount, or have a bit of competitive rivalry, I would assume. So who
Surely.
tends to win most of the time? Do you guys keep count? Is it a competitive thing between you guys?
I don't think we keep count.
Are you just saying that because you're the
One of
loser?
you,
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Yeah.
one of you has to keep count in your head. Like surely,
Maybe she does.
I feel like the female of the partnership would be the one that's got it up here, and he just misses your line every time you win.
be
I
honest.
think I've won more than lost against you.
Oh,
Chipping
here we
line,
go.
chipping
Listen to it.
comps.
Oh, chipping comps. Yeah, she got me in chipping comps. I'll admit that.
Yeah?
But, yeah.
So your short game's on point.
Yeah.
Well, it's really not. I don't
Oh,
know why.
so yours is terrible.
It can't be
I like-
freaking awful if
I
he's
love
got.
that. She's just
what
like,
is
yeah,
he?
my chipping game's terrible, but I'm beating him at it.
Dude, he's a 5-time All-Conference and a 4-time All-American. Was that Div 1? NCAA?
Div 2.
Div 2. Oh,
What
well,
a bum. What
that's
a
all
bum.
right. No.
Trash.
I don't even know why we've got you on the podcast.
That's
Yeah.
awesome, man. Like, so you beat him more often than not. Just be
Well,
honest.
she plays a lot off the blues. Like when she plays with me, I put her off the blues.
Yeah,
so
The
she
blues
can't-
is
you're
one in-
playing off the
Oh,
tips.
like-
Blues
right?
is one in front of the
Oh,
tips, yeah?
if we go off blues.
No, blues at Mount Lawley's.
Yeah, he would
tips.
beat me every time.
Oh, blues off the tips.
Blue
Yeah.
tees.
Right.
Okay.
But if I put her off the reds, she's just going to kill me.
I'd annihilate him.
Okay,
She
so
did not flinch.
No,
I
she
don't know
did
if you
not.
saw her face there, but she had wide eyes, didn't blink, and was like, I will annihilate him. That was
probably
impressive.
true.
That
It's
made
probably
me
true.
scared, and I'm not even her boyfriend.
Okay, so what's your driving distance?
Not very far. Like,
Only like 320.
if I hit a really, really good one, I'd probably push it out to like 215. Depending on, obviously, that's like on a simulator. On course, it depends. Obviously,
And that's
wind
thanks
and
to the fantastic clubs at Mizuno who would also like to trial.
God, you're an idiot. But I love it. Okay, so, and what about your average? Like,
I say I carried around 275.
it's cool that you
Carry
can-
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then run out depending on the course,
Depending
right?
on the
yeah.
course, win,
but
yeah.
what I love about, I guess, professional golfers is if you asked us that and you said our average, unless we were sitting at a, sim or something like that,
Yeah.
we probably wouldn't know specifically, but because they have to keep their little books
Yeah.
and everything like that, like,
Well, then they've hit enough times to have
Yeah,
an
that's
average.
right.
Like, I assume if I'm hitting my driver well, which is very rare, I'm probably between 240 and 250
yeah,
if I'm
mine's-
hitting it well.
Mine's around the same.
Most of the time it's 220 to
250.
230 because I'm not hitting it well.
Yeah.
But then the other day, so I got Glenn's my coach. I say coach, I've only had 3 lessons, but he's still my coach.
Yep.
So he gave me like 2 things to work on at Whaleback. Not Whaleback, sorry. We played at, I had a hit at Wembley on the driving range. And he just gave me 2 things to work on. So I'm, at the moment, my favourite club off the tee is my 5-wood. Because my 3-wood and my driver just don't like me. I don't like them. I'm almost going to quit golf in about 10 or 15 years. It's fine. I'll let it go. But my 5-wood used to be like my 210 club, which I was pretty happy with. He gave me 2 adjustments, and the last 3 weeks now I've averaged like 230 with it. And I don't understand the game of golf now. So I don't know how that happens. Like,
Were you hitting
obviously,
fades?
yeah, but
And
now
now
my
you're hitting
missus
draws?
left.
Yeah.
So,
'Cause you're
like,
closing-
obviously, you guys understand the mechanics of your swing, how ball flight works, the grass, the wind, and all that sort of stuff. I look at a chip or a putt or a driver, I'm like, I just want it to go straight. I'd like to be in short grass.
Contact.
Not hitting out of a tree.
Contact, that's right.
I don't want to have to take my medicine, right? But we played at Mandurah 2 weeks ago, played off the 10th tee.
Pinjarra's never going to be the same for me now, knowing
Right.
this story.
Yeah. And you know how it like bottlenecks to that really thin part of the fairway? I don't know if you can remember. Yeah.
Yes.
Is that on the 10th?
On the 10th?
That's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
the one
yeah.
with water, is it?
No.
No, it's the other one. Yeah,
Other one.
yeah.
So it bottlenecks to the thinnest part of that fairway. Hit my 5-wood, absolutely striped it, 237 off the tee with my 5-wood. Took my driver out on the next par 4 and I hit it about 220. I was like, I don't understand golf. I hate the game. And then I saw a blue tree. And I wanted
better.
to just get a rope
I'm
and
better
pull
now.
myself up on one of the branches.
Yeah, it's just, it is.
It's such a confusing game.
But I guess that's where I'll never forget our grand final that we played for. We were at Joondalup. So what we did is we actually went out a week and a half, 2 weeks before, and Glenn gave us the yardage books, and we sat there and tried to do it.
Yeah.
Right, and like actually
Failed
take note of where
miserably.
we were, what's a good spot, what's the next yardage in, and all that type of stuff. And then when we got to the grand final, our first 4 holes, we were
Did not
awful.
go how we
Nothing went,
expected.
and we were sitting there going, "Man, we need to do something."
Yeah.
And then we were down 4 holes.
Yeah, 4 holes.
Going into the 9th hole, and then we got one back, and then we went on a tear of 5 holes, right? Where we got it back to 2, then with 4
We
holes
thought
to
we were
go.
comfortable.
We thought we were comfortable. We were up by 2 holes with 4 holes to go, and we thought, oh, we got this in the bag, right? Then boom, 6 and 7, they got it back, and we were like, oh, shit, now we're tied.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it was
Yeah, we won it on the
Nice there.
17th hole.
Came in
Yeah.
Well,
close.
he won it on the 17th hole. I sliced it into the trees, and I did nothing
How
on
does-
that hole.
how
I
does the
contributed
format work?
nothing.
So basically, you play. Everyone has their handicaps, right?
Yeah.
You play your own ball,
Right.
and then it's just whoever has the best score on that
Stay
hole.
with the
It's
score.
like better.
No. Just
2 ball, better ball, I think.
yeah,
is
it's
what
2 ball
they
better ball.
call
So
it.
it's just
Yeah.
basically
Yeah.
whoever has the best score. Yeah.
Yeah, based on the handicap
Yeah.
on the hole.
Right.
Off
Yeah.
the stick.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there
it's
was
funny.
There were some holes I contributed on.
Americans don't use that terminology, off the stick. When we use that over there, all the Yanks looked at us and were just like, what are you talking about, off the stick? And we had to explain it to them. Did you experience any weird terminologies like that over there?
We didn't have handicaps, so everything in college was all. It was all great.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can bleep that out, Scott.
So look,
But-
very quickly.
Actually,
all
what
right?
is your handicap, by the way? Do you have one at the moment? Is it plus whatever?
Plus 3.9,
And yours?
I think it's
plus 4.6. I've got it on my app.
Oh my
Damn,
god!
There
she
you
is
go.
better.
4.6.
That's sickening.
Nah, fuck whatever. That's awesome. And that's awesome as well.
I'm not doing it because I'm just disappointed.
I'm a hard 17.4.
Okay, so look, what we're going to do, we discussed this. I gave you the option of what does the loser do, all right, if they miss this.
Evil.
So we're going to have a little bit of a putt-off between 2 amazing golfers here. You're going to get 3 putts, all right? Whoever gets the most out of the 3 putts is going to force their partner to eat the vegetable that they don't like. So, Kathryn,
believe
your
you brought one
chosen
raw.
vegetable that you didn't like was a pickle, and you're looking at it with just sheer disgust.
Honestly, they're so good.
they're
You
alright.
really should get on board.
And
boy.
that is a Brussels sprout.
yeah, that's a big one too.
You got to take a nice chunk out of that, all right? And she's got to take a chunk out of the pickle.
Oh god.
All right. But yeah, look, before we get into that, this amazing team, couple, partnership are still looking for a financial sponsor for the upcoming season to help their travel costs, as it is so much more expensive being a golfer in WA and having to compete over East. As Kathryn said, 90% of the tournaments on the East Coast, which creates so much more pressure on them every time they go over to actually have to do something amazing. If you are a business out there, and I know a lot of you follow us, and you're interested in supporting 2 of the world's best upcoming golfers on tour, please reach out to us, and we can put you in touch with them. Or if you want to find them personally on Instagram, it's Kathryn.Norris and Jordan_Doull. Doull? Yep.
And we'll chuck it in the link below anyway.
Yeah,
so
and
you
we'll
just click
have
on
all
and
that
take
in
you
there.
straight
But look, we hope you've enjoyed the show. And as usual, please like, subscribe, share our content to help grow local talent such as these 2 amazing people and ourselves. And look, just try to support people trying to make a difference in the community
Yeah, man.
as a whole. All right. So look, much love. Thank you so much for
Yeah,
coming in
appreciate
today.
you guys. Thank you
all
very
right.
much.
Thank you.
And we will wrap up with a little bit of our
Also, Mizuno, TaylorMade, Bridgestone, Titleist,
Anyone.
whoever. If you guys want to get in and support them, and as well, I love free shit. So hook us up.
But look-
hook us up. Tiger, I love you.
I'm GT
I'm Jace,
and we are
aka
Top
Tiger.
Bet Golf.
Yes.
So peace out. Thank you very much.
Always like, subscribe, comment. And if you
I've already
guys
done
obviously
that.
had anybody that wants to come on, always say it every week. If you guys think you know somebody who could put in value or would be a good conversation, definitely tag them below, share it, and we'll get them on.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, guys.